St. Louis is another great asset to our program here at Washington University. It's a great mid-sized city, and I think depending on where you're from, you may be coming from somewhere smaller, and you might think St. Louis seems really big. I myself am from North Dakota, and St. Louis has the population of the entire state and then some. Or you might be coming from somewhere like Chicago or New York, where you can look back at St. Louis and think like it's a tiny little town, and I don't really want to mess around with that place. I think we're really kind of just right sized here in St. Louis. As I've mentioned, my commute from a neighborhood where I don't have to lock my doors is about 15 minutes to my front door in the emergency department here at WashU. Along with that comes a walkable city. You can live in the Central West End right by the hospital, very safe area where most of our residents live, and you can walk right to work every day. The city itself is very commutable. The tagline is when you ask someone how far something is here, it's always 20 minutes. It's about 20 minutes. So you don't have the hour and a half commutes you might see in Chicago or places like that. And along with that comes the fact that while we're a smaller city, we also have fewer hospitals. So, cities, and again, I'll pick on Chicago, but, you can't throw a rock without hitting the next hospital in Chicago. And what that does is it kind of disperses your patients out to multiple centers. So if you're looking for a good focused exposure, it can be a little harder to find. Whereas here in St. Louis, we have 2 level 1 trauma centers. We're one of them. And if you get shot in the chest, you're coming to us 2/3 of the time. And I think when you're looking at training programs, getting that exposure to those sick patients and knowing that they're going to come to your center preferentially over anywhere else in the city is really important. St. Louis is also a great city of neighborhoods, which is something I really loved when I moved here. I never really lived in an older city, I guess. St. Louis is kind of I think it's like the oldest, it's like the furthest west East Coast city you can find. And so when I moved here and discovered all these great neighborhoods, it was really amazing. And I think when you come here as a visitor, if you don't know somebody who knows the city, or you don't know the city well yourself, you'll miss a lot of those hidden gems. And that's something that we actually encourage when our applicants come out here, is to kind of explore the city a little bit, ask for some advice. And if you look on our website, we'll have some options of events for you to take part in while you're here for your visit. And we have them kind of broken down by time. So if you have a half a day to spend, we have some alternatives for you. If you have a full day to spend somewhere, we have some options. And then if you only have, an hour or something like that, then you'll have something you can find to do in St. Louis. And on top of that, one of the great gems is just right outside our front door, and that's Forest Park. Forest Park's the largest urban park in the country. It's the second largest in the world, and has a ton of great free features. It's one of the kind of bargains they made with the city when they got the land. So the zoo is free, the art museum is free, the science center is free, the history museum is free. They have a golf course in the park itself. It's about 6 miles around, so it's a great running, biking route. It's where I spend most of my mornings before or after shifts, taking a run in Forest Park. And along with that come a lot of great free features throughout the city as well. Some gems like this City Museum, not a free feature, but one of the great obstacle courses in the city. So I definitely put that on your agenda when you come to check us out. And then also things like the Forest Park Balloon Race. We have Lou Fest coming up shortly. Some other great features of St. Louis are I think the great food scene we have here. We have some fantastic small restaurants that have opened up over the last few years in St. Louis. And some of the neighborhoods that we're flocking to for that are the neighborhoods like the Grove, which are just a few blocks away from the hospital. You can go to the Central West End, have some great alternatives. You can go to Washington Avenue, where you'll find some great food alternatives and some great clubs to go to. And then Cherokee Street is another great option you can find really close to the hospital. And along with the food, I think we have to mention beer because we're in St. Louis. And I myself am a fan of craft brewing. We are in the shadow of Anheuser-Busch here. I consider them a Belgian brewery now, but I really enjoy the craft brew scene in St. Louis, and it's really exploding. So one of our older breweries here is Schlafly. They're about 25 years old, just celebrated their anniversary. And then along with them, we have great breweries like Perennial, which is, I think, nationally recognized as one of the most interesting brewers in St. Louis right now, or in the country. So if you're into craft beer, you have a great scene here as well.